I grew up in Indianapolis, Indiana. I stooged for my hero Jim Hurtubise at Indianapolis 500 in 1968 when he made Indy in the last front-engine roadster to make the field. Art Pollard was one of my best friends before he got killed in Indy in 1973. He helped me buy a Formula Ford from Andy Granatelli. So I started my illustrious racing career in 1972 and tore my Formula Ford in half at Watkins Glen the first time I drove it. Then I progressed to midgets and USAC because Gary Bentonhausen and Bill Vukovich used to beat on me every day and told me, quit driving those squat to pee cars and get a man's car, son. Learn how to race. Get in a midget. Get on the dirt. Mix it up. So I was fortunate. I got to run USAC midgets from 1974 to 1982 when IndyCar drivers were still running USAC midgets and sprints to make a living. So the first time I made a feature at Kokomo, 13 of the 20 starters were in that year's Indy 500. Some pretty heady company, a great experience. I learned a lot about the sport. I learned a lot about racing. And then the Indianapolis Star was for 33 years. I got to write a column about racing and cover midgets and sprints, most importantly IndyCar racing. ESPN came along in 1999, had a show called RPM Tonight, let me be the open wheel guy on that. And then when ESPN went away, Speed came along and said, hey, ESPN's gone, they're not covering racing. We want you to cover IndyCar racing for us. So for 10 years, I've been writing about racing and covering it for television. And I know I have a face for radio, but television's a lot easier than writing, but writing is still my passion because more people you can get to more people in writing because it's something they can either print out or they can buy a magazine and they can keep it. And it either makes them happy, makes them sad, or pisses them off. You hopefully get all three of those reactions, not necessarily the same story.